What is up, everybody? Dan and the Fireman here. Today we're going to focus on braking. Now, this is something that you need to know because if you're going too fast or if you're going out of control out here in a parking lot, you need to know how to stop. So we're going to focus on progressive brake pressure, that nice squeeze of it. And we're going to be utilizing this big cruiser motorcycle right here to do it. So let's just jump right into it. All right, everybody, we're going to be focusing on braking. Now, this is not emergency braking. This is just getting familiar with this front brake lever and then this rear brake lever. Now, here's the thing. We have a nice little diagram right here. It's going to be putting up on the screen, but I have cones, everything situated in a parking lot. Nice runoff. Be as safe as possible. Now, if this is starting to scare you a little bit, you should probably go take a class at the MSF, Total Control, wherever you can in person. Remember, this is YouTube. It's not a substitute. I'm just trying to help you out and give you a nice refresher. So what we're going to do is focus on the front brake and rear brake, and we're going to be utilizing progressive brake pressure. Think of it as squeezing an orange. You don't want to just smash it because you're going to get orange juice everywhere, right? So you're going to grab that orange and squeeze, 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 and juice is just going to come out. That first squeeze, it's going to be pretty tough. The more you give, the more juice comes out, the easier it is to squeeze it, but you're still having to squeeze more and more and more. Think of it as this right here. So the first part, it's going to be kind of hard. Now you're going to squeeze even more. It's going to be even more. It's going to be even more until you come to a stop. Now, here's the thing. My handlebars are turned to the left right now. If I tried to do that here, I'd fall to the left. If the handlebars were turned to the right, I'd fall to the right. So what you want to do is have your handlebars straight when you squeeze those brakes, okay? So if you're going, you look forward and you squeeze. Now, if you do this and squeeze, it's going to fall down. If you do this, it's going to fall down. So once again, squeeze, press. Now, if you have to, squeeze with 2 fingers, 3 fingers. If you can't get 4, that's fine. Your biggest power is that middle finger, okay? So if you can at least get that middle finger and squeeze harder and harder and harder, you should be pretty good. Now, at the same time, if you're trying to get to a stop, go ahead and squeeze in that clutch lever to remove power from that rear wheel, because if you just squeeze here and you don't do anything else with that clutch lever and you stop and you're in gear, you're going to stall. We could talk about that in a different video if you want. Write in the comments if you want to figure out how to not stall. Basically, just squeeze the clutch lever, get into the right gear. That's it. I'm always going to recommend full gear if you do this. You need to have full gear just in case something bad happens. Check out the links in the description for all these different resources. We have gear, we have training, we have everything. Check it out. Here we go. So we already know the friction zone a little bit. So we're going to get ourselves to the spot. Now what I'm going to try to do is stop in between those cones. Now I'm not going to go fast. I'm not going 20. I'm barely even going to go 5. The whole point is to figure out that progressive brake pressure, but we need to be able to get our feet up, so we need to at least do that. So let's get ourselves in the friction zone, give ourselves a little bit of throttle, get those feet up as soon as we can. Now squeeze that clutch. Now squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It's pretty simple. You'll notice that just squeezing the clutch won't do anything for you. Let's go ahead and do a nice little U-turn right here. Just squeezing in the clutch won't do anything for you. It's just going to let you coast. Now what you want to do is squeeze that front brake and press a little bit of that rear brake. So let's go ahead and do that again. Let's get to this cone. So squeeze the clutch lever, squeeze the front brake, and press the rear brake. Now you notice you dive down a little bit when you apply that front brake. That is that weight transfer to that front tire. And when that front tire has weight, it's going to grab the ground more and more and more. And that's the traction. So if you just slam this, it's not going to give it that time to grab. It's just going to slide out from underneath you. And we see that on the after action reviews all the time. So let's try this again. So squeeze the clutch, squeeze the front brake, and then when that weight really hits that front, you can go ahead and do it. Now remember, this is a short little diagram, short parking lot. Now I could totally utilize the rest of this parking lot, but if you only have this, this is what you can work with, okay? It's not that big of a deal, but if you really want to, you can get into a bigger parking lot and do it there. So I'm going to hear it in the comments already. Hey, Dan, you didn't show us what happens if you have the handlebars turned. You just told us, and now I crashed. Okay, well, here's the thing. Let's go ahead and show you. I don't want you crashing. So we're going to watch the headlight. I'm going to walk straight to here. Handlebars are straight, and I'm going to apply progressive brake pressure and then really slam it at the end to really emphasize what I'm talking about. So let's go. Watch the headlight. So I was applying progressive brake pressure. At the last second I applied, but we grabbed traction. But you see how the headlight bounces up and down? All right. The headlight is in line with the motorcycle, basically in line with the tire and the rear tire. Now, let's turn the handlebars to the left last second and see what happens. Here we go. A little bit of speed. Turn left second. Oh, big, heavy bike. That's going to be tough for you to hold with one leg. It wanted to fall down to the left because that's the direction the nose was going, okay? No, this is what you should do. No, it's wanting to fall towards me. Don't do that, all right? Oh my gosh, that was a workout. Whew. If all of this seemed like it was too quick and it didn't give you the information you needed, you need to go to the MSF class or some type of beginner rider course. This is a very dangerous thing we're doing here. We can go super fast on these bikes, and if we can't stop, we're in a load of trouble. You don't want to panic, so you also want to practice. So come out here into a parking lot, practice, 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 get a bigger parking lot, practice, practice, practice. You need to start training with a purpose. Riding smart, everybody. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, ride smart, and I'll see you around.